Happy Friday, communication clubbers. It's me and I am here back from the hairdresser. So if you saw the little post yesterday, then you'll know that this live was going to happen after I've been to hairdressers and I no longer look like a badger or a skunk, as Fee Murray described it, on the top of my head. So I'm back with a fresh barnet and I just wanted to pop on and chat to you about something that has helped me in countless situations in the past when it comes to communicating. Because I think it's fair to say that communication is tricky because it involves people and people are unpredictable. Their attitude is unpredictable, their response is unpredictable, their behaviour is unpredictable at times, because as my friends from Yorkshire will know, there's nowt queer as folk. So based on the fact that we want to get some great outcomes from our communication, it's helpful to know that things can be sometimes beyond our control when it comes to communication. And in communication, there is something called the CIA effect that I want to share with you today because it's helped me in countless scenarios. So CIA stands for control, influence, accept. I repeat, control, influence, accept. And it's useful because sometimes it's worth remembering that you can always control your communication. You might not feel like you can, but you can always control the communication that you are giving out. Beyond that, everything else when you communicate with people is up for grabs and outside of your control. But you can control your communication and you should control your communication because words can be helpful, but they can also be hurtful. And therefore, you need to be careful when you communicate, that you are not letting your emotions get in the way and use words or phrases or even a tone of voice that could offend or upset, because it's very hard sometimes to forget harsh words that are spoken to you or about you. I certainly have hung on to some descriptions of myself for years. And even when I've repaired relationships with people in the future, I can still hear that one-line description or that phrase that they used, and it could be a while ago, to describe me that hurt at the time. And that feeling stays with us. So when it comes to the CIA effect, remember that the only thing that you can control in communication is what you say and do. Now, beyond that, if we think about influence, you have, when you communicate, the opportunity to, most of the time, influence somebody by your words. So we can, by the way in which we choose to communicate, what we choose to say, how we choose to say it, when we choose to say it, and why we choose to say it, we stand the chance of influencing the way people feel, their opinion, their understanding, and their reaction. So we have the opportunity when we communicate to have quite a lot of influence. We might not be able to control somebody's response or reaction, but we can often influence it positively or negatively with our communication. But sometimes, as much as we would like to be in control of a situation, we're not. And as much as sometimes we would love to be able to influence somebody and their opinion, thought, response, attitude, sometimes we just can't. And in those scenarios, you're down to do nothing more than accept the A, which is accept. You can't control it, you can't influence it, you have to accept that that person's view is immovable, that that person's reaction is beyond your understanding and explanation and isn't something that you can change or influence. So you have to accept it. And as hard as that might seem, it's really useful because sometimes we just need closure. Sometimes we're faced with situations where you just think, actually, this is going nowhere, this conversation's going nowhere, this topic is going nowhere for discussion. So in those moments, remember that the CIA effect, it works, because in that moment, ask yourself, can I control their opinion of this or the outcome of this conversation? If the answer is no, ask yourself, can I influence it? And if you can't influence it, then you really only challenge yourself to accept that they're going to hold that view or behave like that or think like that, and there is nothing that you can do to change it. And it's powerful to get to that point, because then you can choose what to do about it. And in those scenarios where you can't influence, you can't control, you've got to accept, you can choose to do one of a few things. You could choose to walk away and actually remove yourself from being influenced or seeing or having any sort of communication with that person in the future, because actually what you have got to accept is so far away from what you naturally believe that you'll always be at loggerheads with it. So you can choose to walk away. You could, if you can't walk away, you could choose to avoid the topic in the future. So we've probably all got situations we could recount where family members have, we love them dearly, or maybe we don't love them dearly, but we have to be around them a lot. But actually every time we talk about religion or politics or spirituality or anything that, an emotive subject, you go at it from such different ways that you've got no control over their opinion and you cannot influence it. So sometimes you're just going to have to accept that topic, be it religion, be it politics, be it spirituality, you just can't talk about that with them because it will never end well. But the third thing I challenge you, if you find yourself in a situation where you've got no control over it, you can't influence them and you have to accept it, then maybe that's a nudge to say, should you be a little bit more curious? Because are you the one allowing no control from the other person you're speaking to? And are you not allowing them to influence you in any way? Is there a middle ground? Should you be a little bit more curious about their opinion, their take on a situation before you accept it's something that you either have to not talk about or actually someone that you need to no longer see or have in your life? So some food for thought on a Friday lunchtime before I go and have some soup. The CIA effect, it's real. Control, influence, accept. And do you know what? There's a great degree of freedom that comes when you accept stuff, because people are strange. They have strange views, strange behaviours. And sometimes we always believe we can make people change and that they should change, that they should agree with us, they should believe what we believe. Actually, they believe what they believe for a set of reasons that are often beyond our control, and certainly their opinion or state isn't within something that we can influence. When you accept they are who they are, they believe what they believe, and they're going to continue that, and actually it's not worth your energy to try and influence them or control it, then there comes a great freedom in the letting go. Accept them for who they are, for what they believe in. Just decide what's your next course of action. Are you walking away? Are you just never talking about the topic again with them? Or actually, are you going to get more curious to understand more about why they have the strength of feeling or that opinion behind it? The CIA will get you out of many a situation where your frustration levels are through the roof. Sometimes it's all about acceptance, and then you have the opportunity to bless and release those opinions that they share or the people out of your life, and you can crack on and surround yourself with people who believe what you believe, who support you for what you do, and who are a positive influence in your life. Let me know below this video if you have had any experience of anything that you've had to use the CIA on, or whether that is a concept that you think will benefit you in everyday communication. Sometimes we need to accept, then bless and release to feel that we've made the biggest contribution into having positive outcomes from our communication. Okay, I will see you back in the Comms Club very soon. Bye for now.